I guess that sums up it well. Okay. Okay, yeah. This is a fun one. I would say like people tend to have this thing in their mind. Do you become a full-fledged developer by completing a course which is like a 40 hour long? Like just completing a single course can it make you a good developer?
So, uh, yeah. So there are many courses which are 40-hour length or 50-hour length. So they basically teach you like they teach you stuff, but you don't get anything unless you do something of your own. Like if unless and until you use that knowledge to build something, or you put it into some practical use, and not just by one single project or anything, you you develop your skills by uh, using them, right? So what I would like to say is that you don't become a pro in a single by doing a single course or doing anything. You develop it over time by building uh, anything with what you have learned.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you search on the net, there'll be a lot of, literally a ton of courses which will say that become a full stack developer in probably just one course, or uh, just bombarding all the technologies related to web in one single course. I would say some are good to get you started. Like they'll at least tell you the roadmap, or explain you that okay, these are the things that you should at least know of for getting to know a particular field that I would say. But trust me, these each individual language or framework or technology is so deep and so vast that a single course of 50 hours might be less to get to know completely any particular language. So just to like not a single course, not two, not three, not 10. It is a continuous process, and any number of courses is always going to be less. So expecting something that okay, these are the set of courses that I'll complete and I'll really become good at that won't guarantee that. You won't guarantee it. You'll obviously get educated, but you have to continuously keep on learning.
Yeah, and the most important part is courses are just to get you started on a specific language or any tech stack. That's it. So after you
Completely.
start coding, after you start developing projects, you eventually learn by debugging things. You will eventually learn by committing mistakes. That's it. That's what I would like to say. You after that you just go through documentation. You just search for Stack Overflow answers. You would understand eventually while you are coding, not just by hearing to some lectures on YouTube or any other website.
Yeah,
And
until and
adding to it,
unless you
while okay, okay, go on, Pritesh.
no bhaiya,
Go on.
Deva bhai. Go.
Yeah, I was just adding to it was until and unless you try, you don't know many things. Okay, they don't teach everything in you, everything to you in that particular course or something like that. Okay, there are many indentation errors. There are many errors you don't know while doing the course. Okay, and knowing the errors is a very important part of this development. Okay, like I have seen in multiple cases, people know very much. People do multiple courses in Coursera, but yet fail to implement very basic things because they come upon through a small error and they don't know how to solve that error. Okay, and basically, take any programming language, knowing the error is very important. Okay, you should know once an error statement is coming means you should know where you have to look upon, and that thing will come only after you practice, only after you debug it once. You know, okay, last time I did it, this error came and this was the reason, and next time there might be a case like that same error is popping out, but that's not the case. The error is somewhere else. So yeah, this skill will only come once you practice, and no course I have seen every like anywhere that they tell you about every possible error that would come if you do a small mistake or not. So yeah, these are particular things you need to take care about the errors, because that is very much pretty much important, and that makes you a good developer. Okay, when someone is coming out to you for help, it's only because he or she is getting some error message. No one will come out by you teach me that it's available. Okay, once one is stumbled somewhere or something like that, if you are able to clear that hurdle, then you can call yourself a developer or full stack developer, what it is. Okay.
Cool,
Okay,
cool.
speaking of my experience from the past 6 months, until and unless you are able to develop something after completing the course, you means if you can develop anything out of on your own, that means the course is meaningless. It's of no use. So until and unless you can develop, okay, things are going right. So that's it. Uh, so try to put it in a what do you say, in a practical manner,
Okay, okay,
which you
cool.
can use in daily life.
Yeah. Speaking of courses, this would be a right thing. During this lockdown, we have seen a rise on either, especially on LinkedIn and stuff. People are just bombarding on putting their certificates. They learned this, they learned that, all of those things. How much of importance does this certificate actually have? Like having 30 certificates, does it make you a good developer, or does it show you as a better developer? Devavai, would you like to go?
Yeah, sorry. Question was the certificates, about
Yeah, yeah,
certificates.
certificates. Yeah, yeah. Having 30 certificates, does it
Okay,
really
cool. Okay.
matter?
Look, certificates doesn't matter. Okay. And one more, I will start with the disadvantages of having certificate. Okay. If you have a certificate and you are not able to answer a question in an interview, then it's a disadvantage for you. And if you don't have a certificate and you are answering some question, then you are obviously in advantage position. Okay. So getting certificates, as I said, okay, getting certificates is not the only thing. Okay. Sometimes the question might come that you can't answer without writing the code or without having any development experience. And getting certificates these days is very easy, especially from Coursera. In GitHub, everything is available, and people have hacks. Okay, it's available in YouTube how to get a Coursera certificate within 1 day. So, like getting a piles of certificate is not at all important. Usually, companies don't see it. I don't know where you are going to mention your a lot of 30 certificates in your CV. I don't see any place to mention all those things. So yeah, having going through those certificate courses, I would like suggest people to go through the university courses that is available in the university website or MIT OpenCourseWare courses. I don't know if certificates are available for them or not, but those courses are much more impactful, be it programming or anything. And also, it's not that Coursera courses are bad, but yeah, you have to be honest with it. Like I have seen multiple cases, people are not honest with how they complete the Coursera or edX or any courses. If you are honest with it, if you are completing by submitting the assignments properly, then yeah, you're good to go. You can answer, you can tackle any kind of question asked on that course. But that is not the end goal, or that should not be end goal, that I have 30 certificates means I will get shortlisted in a company, I will clear the interviews and everything, all that. No, having a certificate is a major disadvantage. If you are having multiple certificates, 30 certificates, I don't think it's possible in 4 years at least for a normal developer or someone who is into coding. Doing 30 courses honestly is a great lot of things. Okay, if you are able to do it, then good. Not an issue, but yeah, doing it honestly is much better. Like I know Sasudaya had done some about 10-15 courses till his fourth year and that was too much for me. I have done only 2 courses honestly, okay, in Coursera, and rest I have done few of the courses from Stanford, which doesn't obviously offer any certificate. But yeah, I did this CS231N. It was on machine learning and image processing. It took me 6 months to finish 2 assignments, like assignment 1 and assignment 2. Assignment 3 is yet it's pending till now, I haven't completed. But yeah, the assignment 3 is actually research paper that was published in later stage. So yeah, that is the kind of assignment these courses give, and that is the kind of development the growth you will see after completing all these courses. So yeah, doing the courses is not important. More important is solving the assignments honestly and learning from the assignments. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Okay,
as
and
like
just
Rutuj,
adding
yeah.
on to it. Just adding on to it. Although a lot of the certificates don't, by just having a certificate, don't actually come with a value, because to be very frank, those are certification of completion. They are not a certificate which proves you are a developer. But there are some certificates which I would specifically mention, but not very much relevant to students, which are done directly by companies. So we have companies like Google, AWS, which have their own certification exam, which is a paid exam around 5K to 10K. You give the exam, you get certified, and those are the actual certificates which companies actually look for. So if I take an example, associate cloud engineer is certificate by Google, it's 5K is the exam cost. If you give it, trust me, there are companies looking out for engineers who have the certificate. So if the certificates which have a dedicated exam, paid courses certificate are different. a certificate which has a dedicated exam for it, and there is no course. You have to learn on your own and come and then clear the exam and get the certificate. Those are the kind of certificates that actually have value. And to be very frank, even the NPTEL certificates, for the NPTEL certificates, the courses, you have to go to an exam center and finish it off, and then you get the certificate. And they actually they help you out because it is equivalent to finishing a course in the university. So all the certificates which have got a dedicated exam with full-fledged invigilation and stuff, they actually have the value. So that pretty much I think sums up the certificate wala part.
Yeah, and this examination part you said about, yeah, I gave the one of the TensorFlow developer certificate. Okay, the company sponsored in which I was interning. The company sponsored me, and I got only 35%, and I failed in that exam. Again, it's a costly exam. It's a very costly affair if you are giving that exam. But if you are having that certificate, you get your name on the TensorFlow developer website, and yeah, your companies are running after you after that. But you need to pass that. Okay, you need to give a dedicated 6 months or 1 year.
Exactly. Yeah, and like I would say, rather than having a set of certificates to showcase how good of how good a developer you are, GitHub is a better judge. Not completely the only judge, but GitHub can surely be a good thing. At least it shows that you have been working on things practically, you have been consistent, and that is a good way. So I would say instead of running behind certificates, try and have your GitHub profile developed well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.